Hello friends, welcome back to Microsoft Fabric video series. I hope you have watched the first video already where I discussed about the basics of Microsoft Fabric and general terms and other things. But this video is a practical one where you need to do hands-on following the video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add a workspace, then how to add a lakehouse, how to ingest the data into the file section in the lakehouse, and how to push that into a delta table inside the table. And what is a delta table and what exactly it does, and also other terms are discussed in this video to understand the concept in better manner. My request is to follow the video completely, watch the video completely so that it gives you a better idea. In the previous video, we have discussed about the basics of Microsoft Fabric, its components, workloads, experiences, and capabilities. The link is given in the comment section, and also on the top you will find the link to get into that video if you want to visit that first. It is always better to visit that first and then watch this video. So in today's video, I will be showing you how to add a Fabric enabled workspace, creating a lakehouse, a simple ingestion of the data to the file section in the lakehouse. From there, creating the delta tables, and what exactly the delta table we will just discuss. This is a very simple exercise and helps you to understand the lakehouse initially. The first step is to create a Fabric capacity enabled workspace. So I'm inside app.powerbi.com in the Power BI service, and in the left side down you will find by default the Power BI icon, and if you click on that you will get two different persona. One is Fabric and another is Power BI. So if I click on Fabric, the Fabric icon will appear and accordingly the related Workspaces experience will appear. But I'm not changing that, not really necessary to do that. I'm just keeping that Power BI thing as it is, and then I'm just going for a new workspace. So as usual, how to create a workspace, click on this Workspaces option and you will get new workspace. If I click on that, create a workspace with a name. So I need to just give a name. So this is the name I have provided. And then I wanted to go to advanced, and you can see various types of licenses where I'm using the trial license, which is available for next 60 days. And also you have the common Fabric capacity, which I do not have. So I'm using trial. So I'm using the small semantic model storage format because I'm not working with larger data as of now, and let me click on apply. Now the workspace is ready. At this point you must know some general terminology about Fabric. So let me jump into, these are the general terms. So whenever you are working with a Fabric workspace, you need to understand what is capacity. So dedicated resources for performing activities provided via Fabric SQs and trials. Currently I'm using Fabric trial, and Fabric trial is providing me certain resources for performing activities, and this will have the workspace and items and other experiences. The next one is Workspace. Workspace is a collaborative environment for managing items, that is reports and notebooks. The regular Power BI workspace will have reports, semantic models, dashboards, Excel workbooks, etc. The same way in Fabric level, the workspace will have reports and notebooks. Inside that, the tenant is nothing but the Microsoft Entra ID assigned to the person who is accessing this workspace. Currently my email ID is that Microsoft Entra ID, so I am the tenant. And then the next one is item. Now you are working with the items. The moment you open and created the workspace and opened it, you have to add an item. An item is a set of capabilities within an experience, like for example Lakehouse and notebooks. We are using a Lakehouse as an item and we are adding that and we are working on that. An experience is nothing but a collection of capabilities targeted to specific functionalities or data engineering, data science, Power BI. These are the experiences. I hope you know after creating the workspace what we should add. Workspace contains items. So we need to add a new item, and that is Lakehouse. So let me click on new item and then search for Lakehouse, and let me name it. While giving a name to Lakehouse, make sure that you are not using any spaces or special characters. So it has to be continuous, or it can be separated by an underscore. It can't have spaces. So that need to be taken care, and click on create. Once you have created the Lakehouse, you will find two sections within the Lakehouse, that is tables and files. The table section will hold the delta tables. However, we'll discuss about delta table and how it impacts the performance, etc. in a separate video. And files, there you can ingest the data directly. So in this example, in this video, we are going to do that. We are using files and we are ingesting data directly to files. And you have a watermark here showcasing different ways to ingest the data, like uploading the files, or start with the sample data which is already there inside the Fabric experience, and using the shortcut, or using the data flow experience, that is Power Query, and using the data pipeline, that is Data Factory, and using the data science, that is Notebook. Different experiences we can use and ingest the data. But in current example, we will be using upload files. Whenever you have created a Lakehouse, you will be getting the Lakehouse mode and SQL Analytics Endpoint mode. It gets automatically added. Otherwise, you can just go there and drop down, and even then it gets activated. Let me select SQL and Analytics Endpoint, which shows you the experience, and where you can see the schemas. Inside the schemas, you will find the tables and other things, views, stored procedures, etc. And also, if you go to the workspace in specific, you will find two things. One is a semantic model, another is a SQL Analytics Endpoint. So what exactly the SQL Analytics Endpoint does, it provides transact SQL to access the data stored in the one lake within the Fabric, and enabling the querying of the Lakehouse data or tables directly using the SQL, and making it easier for analysts and data engineers to interact with the data without moving the data anywhere else. So within the same workspace or same analytics endpoint, you can take care of the data by querying the data. So let us jump back to the Lakehouse and go to the files, and let me create new folder. Name of the folder is my data and create, and I'm ingesting the data within the my data. So let me select get data, upload files, and let me jump into my folder, uploaded one CSV file. And now you can see the data uploaded here. Before loading this data to a delta table, we need to understand few basic things. One is SQL Analytics Endpoint and the default semantic model. So whenever you create a Lakehouse, by default, one default semantic model will be created. It's a predefined model in Fabric that enables Power BI and other analytics tools to query and analyze data efficiently, and it automatically connects to the Lakehouse, data warehouse, or SQL endpoint to create structured view of your data. Next is SQL Analytics Endpoint. It gives us T-SQL support so that we can query the data, and no need to do the data movement, query data where it resides. We can integrate with Power BI very easily, and it is very much optimized for performance because it is leveraging the data tables and direct lake mode for fast querying and accessing the data from Fabric's data warehouse and Lakehouse. But here we need to understand one more thing. What is a delta table? What exactly it stands for? A delta table is default storage format for structured data. So what are the advantages? It's a unified storage and performance optimization and data sharing. So unified storage means it integrates with Power BI, Spark, and SQL Analytics. And then performance optimization means faster query with built-in optimization of Z-ordering. So now we need to understand what is Z-ordering. So let us understand in a very simplified manner. Imagine that you have a huge shelf of books, and you have so many books, millions of books, let us say, and you have just placed them randomly. Now to pick up a book or a specific book of a specific author, it's not easy. But where you have organized the entire book by the author and then by the genre, then picking up the book is very easy. So that is what exactly the Z-ordering does for large data tables. It organizes related data closer together so that searching for specific information will be much faster and efficient. Now let me show you how to load the CSV data to a delta table. Go to the file and three dots, ellipses or more options, load to tables, new table. You can name it as whatever way you want, new table. Since I'm using the CSV file, use headers for column names, and it is comma separated file, and load the data. The data is getting loaded and successfully created new table in the Lakehouse. Now you can see that in tables, a new table is added and I can now query the data. So let me select the new table and I can see the preview. And now I can go to the option to get the SQL Analytics endpoint and query the data. Now let me select the tables, new table and new SQL query. Select top 100 and run the code, or else you can type your own query here and look at the result. Now I can use this data in Excel. I can open this in Excel, or I can explore this data and I can visualize the results. For that I need to select the entire code and then visualize it, and I can create a report now. That is all about this video. I've shown you a simple updating the data, simple ingestion of the data and converting that into a delta table, but there is much more to understand and learn. In the upcoming videos you will get all the content. Thank you very much for watching the entire video. Please do subscribe, don't forget it.